Who are you?
Wow, that's just the golden question.
Great question.
So yeah, my name's Rory Green. I'm Rory A Green if you want to go full artist name.
Full essentials.
Yeah, I'm a contemporary guitarist, composer, band leader. From Ghana originally, lived in Manchester most of my life, and as you can, I mean, the two places are very similar anyway. So
are they that similar?
They're so close. Yeah.
To be fair, actually, you know, because I googled you before this just to get like key points. If you googled Rory A Green, it comes up with you and then singer.
Right, I'm going to do that because I did that the other day. I was like, what happens if I Google myself? And then it does come up with singer. I don't know why.
Do you want to start singing?
I have already started singing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, no.
To be fair, actually, sometimes when you improvise, I can hear you like humming.
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Does that like help you or like?
It does. I think more. It really helps me feel more connected with what I'm playing rather than guiding what I'm doing. If that makes any sense.
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like I'm actually playing within the music more rather than just having it as like an outward experience where this is my hands playing the guitar. I just feel more connected to it that way.
To be fair, I feel like when I write improv, like with viola, I always think voice first and then it goes through my fingers.
Yeah. I think the thing is there is something to be said about being able to sing a melody as well anyway. It just sticks in your head more. I mean, for me when I'm writing it anyway, but I also think some of the best melodies are the ones that you can properly sing. Yeah,
well I feel like even my favourite musicians, all of them like sing it first.
Yeah.
And then go, or like they sing and improv at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about this like Ghana Manchester thing. How are they similar?
Oh, they're absolutely not. I wish they were. Yeah, God, I never experienced seasonal depression until I moved to this country. It was wild. Because I mean, even overcast weather in Ghana is nice. Like it's overcast, but it's still like 30 degrees, and it's still somewhat enjoyable.
Yeah.
But then over here, it's just like, oh, it's actually cold. I don't understand what this means.
It's also like ridiculously cold recently.
It doesn't need to be this cold.
No,
I just don't. No.
But to be fair, I'm glad that it's cold and dry. Like not rain.
That's the thing, yeah, because I feel like the weather over here is just really. I don't want to say wet as in just like it's raining, but like the air just feels really humid.
Yeah,
so, I mean,
exactly.
Like even when it's cold over here, like I feel like, there are other places that I've been to that are a lot colder, but it just feels drier, and it feels like you don't feel like you're going to be sick walking outside.
Yeah, I feel like here you can like there's almost like a sort of like film on your skin, and it just feels like
it's gross. Yeah.
Some of my friends from South Africa who've moved here recently, they've literally hated the weather.
Yeah, it's when I was on tour last year with Nina Cobham. We were going around Europe, and we had one show in Manchester, and I'm not kidding. There was 14 shows in total. We were there for like going around for 21 days. Manchester was the only place that rained.
Really?
Like, the only place that rained.
How ironic.
I think we had a little bit of rain in Berlin, and that was the only rain that we experienced the entire tour.
That's quite impressive, actually.
Yeah. And it literally rained for just a day. And not even like a full day. But yeah, got to Manchester, it was just horrible.
As usual. I mean, obviously Manchester has its charms, but it's like known for... To be fair, when I was deciding to come to Manchester, all my friends were like, oh, it's going to be raining loads. And I was like, it's not going to be that bad. And now I tell my friends who are moving here, I'm like, it is going to be that bad.
I didn't even realise it until I moved, until I was on that tour. We went to Glasgow like after Manchester, and it was 28 degrees.
Really?
Yeah, everywhere else was really, really sunny. This was in April as well, and it was just Manchester's the only place that was actually like cold and rainy.
28 degrees, that's insane.
It was great.
Last time I went to Glasgow, it was like pissing it down, like super, super rainy.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, if you had to give yourself a nickname, what would you? Or do you have a nickname?
I did have a few nicknames when I moved over here. Oh God, it was just I hated it. Rosa was the name I got given just to try and play on Rory. That or Rory the Racing Car, which was oh God, it was a kids show when I was a kid. But again, I just moved to this country, so I didn't know what it was.
I was like, I assume like Rosa's like Gaza.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah, and I hated that. But Yeah, if I could give myself a nickname, it would have to be some kind of cool middle name. Like, I don't know, Rory Loose Fingers Green, something like that. You know, so like some kind of like middle name given to like some cool musician.
Yeah,
that's what I would have. I can't think of anything cool.
That's cool. What does the A actually stand for? I don't think I know. It
stands for Alexander.
Oh, that's nice.
It was yeah, I don't know why, but when I was a kid in Ghana, when I had all my school books, I write my name on it, but I'd always write Rory A Green, and I don't know, that just kind of stuck. But
yeah, I think too far. I think it's nice because if you Google Rory Green, there's like so many things that pop up.
Oh, yeah.
If you Google Rory A Green, it's like you singer.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure if you Google Rory, I don't know what happens now. But if you Google Rory Green, that's when I did it. Obviously, because of Rory McIlroy, and then it comes up with just some like business people. There's this old woman that pops up if you Google Rory Green sometimes.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Well, I need to Google Rory Green again later and see if she pops up. Be like, hey, are you the guitarist?
I don't think there are many cool Rory Greens. I don't think Rory's a really cool name.
I feel like Rory's a great name. Well, I mean, for me, also Rory the racing car is like the first thing that pops up in my head.
There we go. That's it.
There must be some other cool Rorys. I know a few cool Rorys.
I know another guitarist called Rory Green, and he's based in Glasgow. And we actually we've been friends for years. And I was at Fuel for some reason. I think a friend of mine was playing there, and he just happened to be there. He was on stage. It was crazy.
Shit.
Yeah.
Does he play like sort of jazz stuff you do, or
he's a lot more kind of like math rock orientated, kind of like
okay.
the kind of prog rock scene. But back in my emo phase, which it didn't avoid me.
No.
I was in there.
You've had the prog rock's like a super.
Some of it's so cool.
I've been listening to a lot of like Guthrie Govan recently.
Yeah.
His is it Erotic Cakes album?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what it is? That album, isn't it? Yeah. But I know Waves. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Waves on that album is like my fave. And my friend's playing it in his recital, I think.
Oh, sick.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll watch this and be like, no, I'm actually not.
But
we'll see. And he doesn't know who I'm talking about because I didn't mention his name, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, so like what kind of influences like your music? I mean, obviously I know because I do a lot of gigs with you, but what? Yeah.
Sonically, if I was to think of artists that I kind of take a lot of inspiration from Jacob Bro is one of my favorites, who's a Danish guitarist. I think he releases a lot with ECM. I think he has his own label as well. I think Mark Turner, saxophonist, he's coming out with an album under that label. I can't remember what the label's called now. Love something, I can't remember now. But he's one of my favorites. And then, I think for me, especially with Jakob's playing, there is a strong emphasis on the emotional qualities within the music rather than trying to be a guitarist, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like, because I've done a lot of session stuff as well, so there's definitely a split, I feel, when it comes to my playing, where I'm playing as part of my job, where I'm there to fill a role. I'm kind of like a cog in like a bigger machine, which is really fun sometimes. But sometimes there's a part of me that just wants to make music as well, and guitar just happens to be the instrument I play. And I like to think that if I played any other instrument, I'd probably still sound the same when it comes to writing. And that's something I try and chase a lot. Sometimes I just have to think less about the guitar itself and more about what I'm actually playing. And that's something that I found in Jakob's playing, because some of it's so simple, but it's some of the most beautiful music that I've ever heard. And I think as far as other artists go, Keelan Rose is a really good favorite of mine. Her stuff is just stunning, and her husband Rich as well. He's great as well. And Dowdy, who we were speaking about a while ago, actually. God, that the King of Misery album,
so good.
Every time I listen to it, it's just so good. Everything completely changed when I listened to that album, and it's stuck in me since. And it's just that digging into that emotional quality within music. It's just such an important thing for me.
Well, my friend actually played, I think maybe it was one tune it was just one tune, I think, from that album, like last year at some point. And I was like, oh my God, that's so nice. And then I didn't follow up on it because I forgot the name and everything. And then you mentioned it to me, I heard it again, and I was like, oh my God, it's the song. Yeah, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've been like recommending it to like everyone.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
That and also the Adrian Anker album.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one with like the green, yellow flowers or something. Like those two were definitely like insane. But I know whenever we do like your gigs, you always like tell little stories about your music. I mean, some of them are like quite funny, like out of necessity. I mean, if not everyone on here knows you, but if you just wanna,
I mean, out of necessity, the name is just from the fact that I had, I think it was back at 2023 when I had this gig. Had a show, not enough material, just needed to finish it, and it just kind of stuck as that name on my desktop when I was recording it, and that name's unstuck. Funnily enough, actually, there's another name for a tune of mine, which was actually the last tune I played on. It's a really new one. Played at Band on the Wall on the 29th of January, called Too Many Changes. It just came because I kept changing the whole song too many times. That was it.
Well, so I saw, actually, when I was doing Even Angels, I saw that on the iPad.
Yeah.
And I thought that was too many changes in like chord changes, like jazz chord. That was what I thought in my head. And then when I heard it, I was like, that's not too many changes.
No. That section is just 2 chords.
So many changes.
There's so many.
So many.
One's fine. One's enough.
One is fine.
But yeah, I do love telling stories with my music. I think especially because it's instrumental music. I was going to say mostly, but it's completely instrumental.
You've got a bit of voice in Even Angels.
That's true. There is, yes. I wonder who did that.
Oh my gosh, whoever.
I feel like it really gives. I think the beauty with instrumental music is that the feelings behind it can be really up to the listener. Not everybody needs to know the story to be able to kind of get their own message out of it.
Well, I guess. Oh, sorry.
Go.
I was gonna say there's no like leading lyrics.
Exactly. Yeah. There's no. I don't want to say hand holding to take away from lyrics, but there's no kind of like this is the story. But I do like giving context to some of my music sometimes, just to highlight where it comes from, if not for anything else.
To be fair, I mean, I actually, even as a player, I love hearing your little stories, like in between each one. Like, they don't give like loads away, like you said, but they give enough context.
Yeah.
And even though I've heard them like so many times, I still love listening to them. I'm just like, that one. It's great. But I know, so you did the residency with Opera North last year.
Yes, yeah.
Can you tell like a bit more about
that?
Oh
God, yeah. That was, I mean, the whole experience was just, it was incredible. It's one of the most kind of liberating and freeing musical experiences I've had in a very long time. So I was with Alice Phelps playing double bass, Red as well on drums, Andrew Barney was playing keys, and then I think Alan was on sax, and then Courtney Hayes, or Courts Wrights as he kind of goes by, his last name, was the poet for that. And yeah, the whole experience was, I mean, the experience was just incredible. But the purpose for me, at least anyway, was I wanted to share, I want to highlight the issues and stories and experiences from people with multi-heritage backgrounds, like myself, being half Ghanaian, half English. And just share that experience, because it's very different. I think because I've grown up in Ghana and grown up over here as well. Over here, obviously, people refer to me as being black, whereas in Ghana, it's the complete opposite. And being mixed race is a very different experience than being black or white. I just want to share that. And it was a beautiful experience. I spent the weeks prior to the actual residency just interviewing a lot of people, speaking to a lot of people, just hearing their stories, and recording and documenting that whole process as well, and then putting that to music. And some of the stuff that Courtney in particular came up with, oh God, it was just tear-jerking stuff. It really was. And I think I sent him all of the recordings that I'd taken with people. And some of the material that he wrote was just in 2 days as well. I think he came down, had the rehearsal, and then the next day we had the actual showcase.
Wow, okay.
So everything that you, there is a video on YouTube, you can go on Opera North's YouTube channel and find that. But everything that you hear, especially from Courts, was written like the day before.
Yeah, well, I remember we did the band on the wall gig was called. I can't remember what.
Oh yeah, that was supporting Mansell Brown.
Yeah,
2023.
I can't remember what song it was.
There's one. I haven't played it in a long time. It doesn't really have. The title's still being worked out. But yeah, there's one that's kind of. It's predominantly drums and poetry focused. But yeah, got into. Well, I'm working with them again soon on a project that I don't even know if I can talk about. Yeah.
Oh my god, secrets.
Ooh, secrets.
That's so fun.
But yeah, course is on a residency, and he's invited me down to work with him again on that. So
Okay.
yeah, I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, I keep meaning to message him because actually he's just so cool as well. All his stuff is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, so fun time. I also need to bring a meal deal.
Yes.
Can you please explain your meal deal choice?
I can. So this is because I'm vegetarian. The Sainsbury's. So first of all, it has to be from Sainsbury's because
why Sainsbury's?
If for me anyway, as a vegetarian, nobody does a better meal deal. So
okay, I see.
The VLT, which is like just a BLT but a vegetarian one, is actually really really good.
Is it like fake bacon?
It is.
Yeah.
But it actually doesn't it tastes pretty good. I think when going for meal deals, you can either go for something that just generally tastes really good, or how can you get the most amount of calories and the least amount of food. Because I don't know, I just go for a meal to try and fill myself up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, that's how I approach it.
I always feel hungry after a meal deal as well.
That's the thing. I don't want to feel hungry again after a meal deal.
Yeah.
Yes. So this absolutely good.
Okay.
The Arla protein yogurt as well, because again, just trying to fill up more than anything. And this, just because this costs almost as much as the meal deal by itself anyway. So, and then it's with any description. And we have strawberries, bananas, and apples. And anybody that gets anything else is kind of a loser.
You don't go crisps?
No, I don't.
Really? I love crisps.
No, I don't go crisps. No,
so
not usually.
Because you've gone for the protein snack and then fruit thingy, but I always go for protein drink and then actually sometimes I get fruit as a snack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've never full after meal deals.
No. Yeah. I mean sometimes I am, but that's also because I'm kind of lactose intolerant. But
okay.
I don't really like to push the boundaries.
Yeah, but you know when people say that to be fair, because I think I might be lactose intolerant as well.
Yeah. Most people are.
But I don't want to get it checked because I actually just love cheese and milk.
I know that there's definitely an issue. The amount of times I've had dairy and felt just horrible afterwards.
Really?
Yeah, but it's a risk I'm willing to take.
So actually, I've been using oat milk in a lot of my protein shake.
Yeah.
Coffees, matcha lattes. I've even used it for mashed potatoes once because I ran out of oat milk. It actually was so good.
It's great. It's fine. So it's perfect.
Yeah. Apparently, oat milk's bad for you.
Yeah, but then dairy is also bad for you as well, and then everything's
bad for you.
Somewhat bad for you.
If you have enough of something, even water's bad for you if you have too much.
Yeah. And I've done that a lot. Yeah, that's a bit TMI. Going to my shooting days and finding out how much water I can. My two housemates when I was a student were two of my best friends.
Yeah.
And it's just a house with three boys with way too much time in their hands. Yeah, I can drink about 1.5 liters of water before I just throw up.
So in one go.
Yeah. It's not good, but
I'm impressed that you can do 1.5 liters.
Yep.
Because I feel like even I drink 500 milliliters and I'm already oh, that's enough. But I guess you're also much taller than I am.
It's true.
We're actually saying, sorry for context, we were talking, because my flat actually is quite normal size for me.
Yes.
Rory.
I feel like a giant being shown around.
It's so funny. So I've got these, let me get them. I've got these little Shakespeare books.
It just feels like this is just a normal book. It feels like those memes where it's me handing something to my short friend and they're just giving I don't know, a giant.
The biggest.
Yeah.
Ever.
And it's this. I'm going to hand it to you and it's going to be
and it's an
encyclopedia. That's exactly what it feels like.
I've got too much stuff in my flat. The fact that I had that on hand is actually.
I didn't
crazy.
even see that.
No, because it's covered by my guitar. I have too much stuff. Okay. Anyways, back on topic. What do you think has been like your favorite gig that you've done ever? To be fair, that's quite a hard question. Maybe in the last year.
Yeah. I have. If I have to pick one, it would have to be probably the gig I did at Band the Wall like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
That was easily one of my favorites. But I think it's one of my favorites because I really felt like I could just let go. Which I think is something that is it's so hard to do sometimes. I don't think my music's any like it's not exactly difficult music, but sometimes it's really easy to just get into your own head sometimes. And I've had some shows that sounded fine, but I just couldn't enjoy it for whatever reason. Usually because I'm thinking too much. But yeah, there was a lot of new music played on that gig, and I think I don't know, maybe just getting out of the kind of winter slump where I've not gigged for a while. I just needed it. And that was one of my favorite shows. I think before that I did a solo show at Yes, supporting Case and Coda.
Oh my god, yeah.
That was another one of my favorite ones as well. But there were two very different gigs because last year I did a lot of solo shows, which I don't do that much of. It was really fun to really get back into that again. I felt like with the solo shows I can communicate more with the audience sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I turn into a bit of a comedian when I have solo shows, which I enjoy. But I think getting the audience to sing at that gig as well was really good. There was a video taken where there's a tune called Promises where you should get everybody to sing. And everyone in the audience sounds great. And then I start joining in. It just the confidence I have when I sing is impressive. But yeah, I didn't like. I had to pick both of them because they're really different, but they were both great.
To be fair, I feel like because I mean, obviously, because I play with you so much, those two were both gigs that I wasn't playing in. Well, funny. Maybe they're my favorite for some reason. But actually, it's really nice watching you play. Because actually, fun enough, I mean, I love playing your tunes, but I also get in my head about it. Yeah. But it's not even like the harmony kind of aspects. I get in my head like with the technical stuff. Maybe it's because I come from a classical round and I'm like, oh, that was slightly out of tune, that was off. Whereas when I was listening, I was just like, that's so nice. And like, I mean, I loved your solo show at Yes. It was like so beautiful. Good enough. I still got videos that I watch sometimes. But even like your 1-2 weeks ago. Also, it was actually fun seeing you play with different people because obviously, I've forgotten her name. Really sorry. The saxophonist, Rachel. Yeah, Rachel compared to Eleanor, like they're so different. So it's funny, like seeing how you react to them both, or like how the group kind of reacts. Yeah.
That's what's really fun. I think I don't actually think I've played with the same people, like same lineup of people anyway. Like more than I don't think I've even done that twice.
Probably. I mean, I was trying to say with me and Alice, but we've done that once at.
That was at Factory.
But
I don't think the three of us have played another gig like that.
No, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I know we've done some on a whim.
Yes. Yeah. In fact, the first one we did together was completely on a whim, I think.
Yeah. So also for context, the first gig I ever did with you was because you messaged me like half an hour before the gig. Was like, "Hi, can you play?" And I was like, "Yeah, let me have the tune." No, we did. What was going on? That was so fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a really good show. That was MIF 2023 as well, actually.
Yeah, it was.
But
that's crazy. I've known you for like 2 years now, which is weird to think about. Because I met you at
it was we're at Nymos with Gary Washington's. What was the project called?
A Song of People Called Black.
That's it.
Was it?
Something.
Story of the People Called Black.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Because I came up to you and was like, "Oh my god, that coffee thing is so
yes,
cool."
Yes, making a coffee time. Yeah, so the lineup changes all the time, and I found that really fun. I think it works really well because just because of the way that I write. Like I try and write with just from beginning to end, just guitar first, just so it makes communicating with people so much easier, because everything that I could possibly want to add is kind of already in my playing in some degree anyway.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like I'm instead of writing other parts for other instruments, kind of distributing what's already there, even if it's not completely audible. And I think that works really well because it means that I can kind of the music is really flexible, so it can change with lineups. Like we've done shows together, the shows that we've done with Alice, and the shows I've done with Ada, Francis playing harp, and then Eleanor playing sax, and then to solo shows, and then I think the band on the wall gig we did supporting Massive Brown was, I think it was 7 of us. There was a lot of people. Well, 7 of us when we had Corpse playing at one point.
Yeah, because it was Gio, Ada, Alice.
Alice was left. We had no bass for that one.
Ah, okay. Yeah. So me, Rory, you, Ada, Eleanor, Gio, and Court. Yeah, 7. Yeah, I remember that being like a big. It was a very one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. It's just really, really fun to hear the music kind of take a different form each time.
I'm always impressed by how many people you know. Like literally, I'm talking to someone randomly. I'm like, oh yeah, so I play with this guitarist called Rory, and they're like, oh my god, yeah, I know Rory, and I'm like, how, literally, how do you know Rory? But then I guess, well, this like leads me on to like idioms perfectly. So yeah, like tell us a bit about that because again, you know so many people. I'm always so impressed.
Yeah. So idioms is a creative community that I started, I think, in August. I had it in my head for a very long time. I just never got into doing it. It exists mostly just on WhatsApp. It's like a massive WhatsApp group. We've got a group dedicated to like just promoting gigs or any releases or any other kind of news that people might find interesting. There's the general chat where people are just kind of like say anything. And then we try and meet up for a coffee like once every month ish. I think our next one's actually going to be on Monday. 17th, I think.
Is that?
I think so.
Oh yeah, no, I think it is.
Yeah.
I can't remember if I come to that one. But I remember really enjoying the last one I did go to.
Yeah, they're really fun. They're really nice. Yeah. And
but there's a message on the WhatsApp like almost every day.
Yeah, it's going off all the time. And I think there's like over 150 people in that group now, and it's really good. I think a lot of people use it as like a. Speaking to a good friend of mine, Pierre Flass, who's a trombonist, his music's just beautiful in his own right. In fact, he played. He supported us at Band on the Wall 2024.
I was gonna say he did support a while ago. Yeah.
We were talking about the group, and like it's a really good place for just people to just even just open up about just how they feel. Like if you're feeling kind of like having a bit of rubbish time with music or anything creative, which most of us will experience at some point anyway.
Yeah.
I found it really useful for just even just helping with dealing with imposter syndrome or any kind of anxiety around like how I'm feeling about music or anything like that. But yeah, I want to take the group further as well this year and start potentially putting on events or having a jam night or something like that. Just doing a bit more within that.
But we did like the little jam after the band.
Yes,
I thought it was just so.
That was so good.
Actually, that was one of them which was quite questionable. I finished it and I was like, well, that was funny. But it's just like fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't like. I feel with jams like if you don't do something perfect, it's not the end of the world.
It's
it's just fun.
That's
obviously, I think you'll want to show off like your things to some aspects, then you know who you want to work with. But then again, it is also just fun. Because I remember I met Jamie at that gig, and I saw him. Well, we did the thing together.
Yeah,
and that was the first impression I've got of him, and I was like, dude, he's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely, it'd be fun to do. More stuff like that.
Yeah. I have to try and find the time as well.
It's hard.
It's hard. It's hard.
Putting on events actually is also
takes out a lot. Yeah. It does take out a lot.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's because you try and message so many venues, and then you're like, please help me put this on, and then they're like, oh yeah. I don't know. It's hard, especially in Manchester. Actually, I was talking to. Was I doing this? It was at this conference I was at recently. And they were saying that gig spaces in Manchester closing down is like a really big issue.
Yeah.
Right now.
I
or like smaller ones anyway.
Yeah. I was reading something about that. I'm going to get the statistics completely wrong. So I think so. Like it's looking like 6 venues closing like each year. I don't know. That's not Manchester specific. I think it's like nationwide. But yeah, scary times.
Yeah. On a slightly lighter note, sorry, I literally saw your arm. Is that your first tattoo?
Yes, that is my first tattoo.
Oh my gosh, when did you get it?
I got it, actually, I got it on the 6th of December because I then that evening supported James Heather at Low 4.
Because I remember we've talked about tattoos before.
Yes.
And I literally just looked over your arm and I was like,
it's so silly.
Gosh.
It's literally a tattoo of my favorite cup.
Is it the
red one?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it the red one?
Yeah.
Every time we do rehearsals I forgot the name of it.
Islington Mill.
Yeah. You always have it.
Yeah. I just want to be silly, and it is. I've got like 5 more planned in my head.
What would you get?
I'm gonna get the Ghana flag as well. Also, a carabiner as well, because not because I'm climbing or anything like that. I don't know. My dad just gave me this like giant carabiner once. He's there you go. You're never alone with a carabiner. I don't know why that stuck with me. It just made me laugh. And then like my dad's a big important person in my life anyway. So I lost the carabiner, so now I'm going to get a tattoo of it and just have that on me.
That's so sweet.
Yeah.
Because when I really think carabiner, I always put mine on my belt loop.
Yeah.
Because then like my keys and stuff. Because then it's just easy to. Yeah, exactly. How do you do that so well?
I'm just really cool.
Yeah, so cool. Speaking of cool, what's something like what's like a fun fact or like something that people wouldn't think of you like?
I'm sure
there's so many too.
I didn't even have to think about this. I'm obsessed with planes. Completely obsessed with planes. I don't know what it is. They're just so cool. Honestly, once a day I look at flight radar and just find out what's going on nearby. It's just so cool.
I genuinely didn't even know that.
Oh, sick. Yeah, no, I'm obsessed with planes. I just completely am. Okay. I don't know what my favorite is though because it changes literally all the time. I usually if you see me walking with like headphones on or something, you go like, oh, he's cool. Listen to some cool music. I'm listening to a video on planes.
Are you actually? That's so fun.
Yeah, I would just be listening to like the Pegasus engines using like the Harrier jump jet, something like that.
What got you into planes?
No idea. They're just so
specific.
Cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I don't know why. It's just kind of stuck, and now I'm just obsessed with planes.
Do you like flying?
If I could fly, I would be so happy.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. I feel I always wonder, like, oh, if I wasn't doing music, what would I do? I would probably just like do whatever I can to just fly a plane.
Yeah, basically a pilot.
That's literally it.
Wow.
That'd be cool.
See, my dad actually used to be a pilot.
Oh, sick.
Well, he tells me that anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sure he did. I've never seen a pilot plane.
Yeah.
But also one of my friends from uni, he did a whole like pilot course before coming to do saxophone.
That's so cool.
Yeah, shout out to you, Nick. I mean, I don't know if he's going to watch this, but anyway, I'll mention him in the comments. Like, Nick, by the way, you're here.
Yeah.
But just kind of to wrap this up, have you got any? So obviously, Even Angel was released recently.
Yeah. That came out on the 31st of January.
So I loved like how you split it, like the beginning,
Even
Angels, and then the ending.
It just felt necessary. I don't know. Yeah.
I had no idea you were going to do that. What kind of?
I think the ending actually. Oh God, I wrote that years ago, and it never really it never really was anything more than kind of what's already recorded there anyway. But it's in the same key as Even Angels, and it always just kind of fit with it anyway. And then and I think the intro that you and Alice improvised. I think after I was thinking about the ending, I started having a look at the beginning as well. And then I kind of noticed that there's a little bit of space between the beginning and the actual track. I thought that probably just deserves its own kind of light by itself anyway. And I think it's very. I don't know. This wasn't the intention going into recording it, but I feel like it gives a very narrative story.
Yeah.
I mean, you're aware, and I think a lot of people are aware. And I know, but my dad went through a really intense battle with cancer. I think just when the pandemic started, actually. So I was at home. I moved home anyway, but then I was at home caring for him a lot, and then we took him into Christie when we found out they actually had cancer. And then Even Angels, I think I wrote that like 10 years ago, actually. It was always one of his favorite pieces of music.
Well, yeah.
And yeah, he said that, you know, if it was looking at the time that he wasn't going to make it, but he said if he passed away, that's the song he'd want to play at his funeral. So then it made me kind of revisit that and actually learn it again, because I thought I'd have to. And yeah, obviously he's fortunately still with us.
Yeah, I met your dad. He's so cool.
Yeah, he's so cool.
He's so cool.
He's so cool. He's so cool.
Also, your mum, actually, your whole family.
Yeah.
So lovely and so cool.
Yeah. He's no, he's great. He's a massive inspiration to me and my mum as well. Yeah. My dad is the way he is because my mum is the way that she is, because she definitely whips him into shape.
Okay.
But yeah, so I don't know. It just felt like it made sense. So we just went with that.
Also, like, I actually wanted to ask about the album work as well, because I know before we were talking about it, well, before the song came out, and we were kind of like, well, you were kind of saying, like, you're not really sure what to do with it. And then when I only didn't see it until, like, it was basically released at that point. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the album. Where did that come from?
I recently started painting. And I started doing it just because it was really, I don't know, it's just a really different release. I feel like because I've been playing guitar now since I was like 12, I think I'm 27 now. Definitely gotten to a point where obviously there was no right or wrong with it, but you kind of know what is right and what is wrong. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's very hard to just kind of like let go and just create something without any kind of like judgment. But with painting, I've never really kind of paid attention to it. Not that I've not been interested in it. It's more that I've not had any kind of education around it. So if I'm ever painting, it just feels fun. Like everything feels like I've just learned something.
Yeah.
And it's been really, really good to switch to that whenever I feel like I want to take a break from playing guitar. If I want to have an evening that I don't feel like picking up the instrument, so I'm going to do something else instead. I'll just go and paint. And that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. When I'm playing guitar, sometimes I'm a bit more kind of methodical with what I'm playing, what I'm writing. With painting, I just guess I'll just do all that. It's great.
It looks so cool. Yeah. I loved the album work. I was like, oh my god, that's literally like perfect.
Good. Yeah.
Have you got any gigs coming up soon?
I have. The only one that I have confirmed, because this year I'm kind of taking a bit of a break from gigging. I said I'll do that last year and I didn't.
You say that every year.
I've been saying that every year. This year will be the year that I, take a bit of a step back and just focus on recording. So I'll be playing Green Island Festival on the 6th of September. And yeah, I think that's the only like gig that I've got. I'm playing at the Cockpit in London on the 3rd of April, I think. But that's with that's with Take 5, the residency that I'm on at the moment. And then there may be a showcase around like London Jazz Festivals. That's November time. So yeah, I've got nothing really confirmed other than that. And for the first time in like 2 years, that feels completely fine. Like I'm not looking into like the next couple of months thinking, oh my god, I've got no gigs. Yeah, I think my main focus now is just to one, get an EP down, and then two, get a second EP down.
Yeah, so you felt that's good because one of my friends, Matt, who like loves your stuff, he's always like, I wish Rory had more stuff recorded because I want to hear it on like. And to be fair, saying as well, I'm like, I want to hear the tunes like in my ears. Yeah. In a weird way, but like I love your tunes and it'd be just lovely to hear them. But that's so exciting.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, end of this year, beginning of next year, there should be some new music on the horizon. We'll see.
Scheming.
Yes.
Cool. I mean, thanks for doing the first ever episode.
Yes, thank you for
Art Wall.
The sacrificial lamb.
A little bit. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I'll leave Rory's Instagram and stuff down in captions or whatever. But I mean, your Instagram is like Rory A.
Just Rory A. Green. And that's everything, my website, all sorts. Yeah. But
yeah, no thanks. I'll see you all next one. Bye. Oh my god, please tell me that was all recording.